Welcome to Compass Points, the weekly podcast for CompassKnox.com. CompassKnox.com is your best source for news and politics in Knoxville and Knox County. If you'd like to learn more about the topics discussed on today's podcast, go to CompassKnox.com and subscribe for in-depth coverage and much more.
Welcome to Compass Points, a podcast about Knoxville and Knox County government, politics, business, education, and just about anything else that grabs our attention. I am Scott Barker, editor of Compass, which is a subscription-based website and newsletter where we report on all these topics and more. You can find us at CompassKnox.com. We are recording this as always, or almost always. Sometimes we get interrupted, but almost always we're in the opulent studios of Barbarian Productions in beautiful Rocky Hill, and this is the place where Lord Seth Barber rules the roost. Seth, time for the 3-day-old weather report. What's going on?
It's still hot, and I'm going to say the word hot a couple more times, I'm sure. But so the heat dome, I learned about a heat dome this week. I think I already knew about it, but we are fully in the middle of the heat dome, and it's just going to get hotter for the next couple of days. But we've had some rain on and off this week, which has been nice. The grass has got some pop to it now that it's got some moisture in it. But I say that knowing that we're also in a drought. So, I don't know. It's late summer, winding down, getting prep for school, which is always my most favoriteest time of the year. So, but I think I figured out where your complimentary phrasing for the studio is for those that don't know, it's in a basement, so it's always cold down here. So when it's super hot outside, this room does feel pretty opulent.
Yeah, well, that and all the gold and gilt frames and all that stuff. It looks like the Oval Office in here. I just have to say that. I mean, it's just like the Oval Office. I'm just projecting like the next guy. Well, all right. Well, let's get to the news from last week, which we'll recap for you. The Knoxville City Council approved a tax incentive for a new event venue in East Knoxville. We'll talk about that. One of the downtown high rises is for sale. That's a fairly rare occurrence for the whole building to go up, and this is one of those times. Also, we've got a couple of things about our congressional representatives. State or U.S. Rep Tim Burchett had some kind words to say about PBS and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting funding cuts. We'll go over that. And Senator Marsha Blackburn had some fine things to say about the University of Tennessee still using its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies under an assumed name, she says. So, also, we had a story this past week about boosters at West High School, some very prominent boosters who were trying to get the Lamar Brown, the football coach who was reassigned and has moved on to another system now, get him reinstated at West, and they fell very, very far short of their goal. But we're going to start off with some a lot of stuff actually about the city elections. We've got we had 2 forums, 3 seats discussed last week. 3 candidate forums. We'll talk about a little bit about those, and we also have started our profiles of the 6th district candidates. The 6th district has 5 people in the running, and we had to kind of split up the reporting on those, the profiles for them. And the 6th district, if for those who do not know, is the city's only majority district. It is it extends from East Knoxville through downtown and Mechanicsville and over to Marble City in West Knoxville. So it's a very large district. It's the only district in the city that actually borders every other district, and it is, like I said, it's the only majority district. It is a district that leans pretty liberal, pretty progressive. The people of the district have elected an African American to the seat ever since there have been district seats in 1969. So, and 4 of the 5 candidates who are running this time are African Americans. So, the candidates, run through them real quick: Lawrence Williams, Denzel Grant, Stan Johnson, George Rowdenbush, and Charles Frazier. Now, this past week we profiled Williams, Grant, and Johnson. So we talked about them. First, we'll talk about Lawrence Williams. Very quickly, just to introduce you to him. He grew up in Knoxville, in East Knoxville, in between the Walter P. Taylor homes and the Austin Homes housing projects. Went to several schools. He went to just about every elementary school you can go to in East Knoxville, and graduated from Austin East, and now he is a minister at Honey Rock Victorious Church, which is in Burlington. One of his, he's at least as well known in the community as the director of Safe Haven, which is a mentoring and life skills program for youth in East Knoxville, and he co-founded that in 2010. As with several other candidates, he is his focus is on the young people of the district, especially in the poor neighborhoods of East Knoxville, and trying to get them on the right path, becoming good citizens. And the next person we'll talk about is Denzel Grant, and he is he's only 34. He's the youngest of the candidates out there for the 6th district. He is a military veteran, and most people know him as the executive director of Turn Up Knox, which is a violence interruption organization. They have been in the news quite a bit in this year, starting back at the beginning of the year. They had a big city contract to do the violence interruption work. They got into a dispute over how they reported their funding, how they reported their activities with the city. The city wound up terminating the contract in February, but the organization is still going on. Now, Grant actually, since just yesterday, or Thursday, just Thursday, announced that he is going to be stepping down from the leadership at Turn Up Knox at the end of August. It's kind of an odd thing. He said he was doing that because he's going to focus on his city council campaign. He must be pretty confident, because the primary is before the end of August, so it's the 26th, and so he is evidently very confident that he's going to move on to the general election, because as most of our listeners know, the top 2 finishers in the primary do go on to the general election. Grant is focused on making positive changes for people who live in the margins, and he said that's just anybody who lives on the margins. He is still committed, he said, to violence interruption, says that shouldn't just be like a strategy, off to the side. It should be kind of a way of life. And he also is a business owner. He owns a security company. So he wants to expand access to affordable housing and, of course, focus on the violence interruption and improving education, in the sense that everyone in the district families have the resources they need to go to the county schools and succeed. So one of his big points is that the community is often divided along racial lines, economic lines, generational lines, and that he wants to be the candidate to kind of unify the district. He thinks he is the one to do that. So the third candidate we profiled this past week is Stan Johnson. Johnson also, he was born in Jamaica and came to the United States, attended Knoxville College, the historical black college in Mechanicsville that has fallen on hard times since he was there. But he's now the executive director of an organization called SEED. That's SEEED. It's Socially Equal Energy Efficient Development. And that organization is big on job skills training for youth, and in the environment as well. They have built a couple, and I'm not sure how many, 2 or 3 energy efficient homes in East Knoxville, and the kids who are in the program are the ones who actually build it. It's kind of a almost like a young person's Habitat for Humanity kind of deal, where they build those for people to own. And he looks at this as a spiritual calling. It's almost a continuation of work he did with an organization called Tribe One, which was founded by the late city councilman Danny Mayfield and the former city councilman Chris Woodhull. But that's where it got a lot of the whole idea of job training and that sort of thing. And he's also run a business. He's been an auto dealer. He owned an auto shop, or not an auto shop, but an automobile dealership. So he like others he wants to prioritize affordable housing and public safety. One of those are two things. Affordable housing and public safety are issues everywhere in the city of Knoxville, but nowhere are they more acute than in East Knoxville. And so he is going to be focusing on those as well. He also has it will point out to you that he served on the planning commission, and knows that, understands that a lot of what city council does is has to do with land use and zoning, and he brings that experience to the table. So those are the 3 that we've already profiled. Like I said, we'll be circling back in the coming days to profile Rowdenbush and Fraser, and so then we'll have all 5 of the candidates in that district profiled at that point. So we also had, like I said, we had 2 candidate forums this past week. One was a combined forum for 2nd and 3rd district candidates. Now, here we go again on the geography of these. The 2nd district is what you think of as West Knoxville, along Kingston Pike, on either side of it, and the 3rd district is Northwest Knoxville, on either side of Western Avenue. So those seats, and all these seats are district seats. They're all up for grabs because the incumbents are term limited. That particular forum, which was hosted by the League of Women Voters, and the moderator was our own Jesse Mayshark. It had 5 candidates at the forum. All 4 from the 3rd district were there: Frank Ramey, Doug Lloyd, Ivan Harmon, and Nick Cipero. In the 2nd district, only Nathan Honeycutt showed up. Melody Watts, who is the other person running in that race, was not present. One of the questions, it's a kind of a standard question that you get in these settings, is kind of what the candidates see as the biggest issue. Harmon, who is a former city council member and former county commissioner, talked about potholes and infrastructure. Cipero also talked about transportation infrastructure. One thing that was interesting, this forum was on Tuesday night. Cipero said that the city has been using their district as a quote unquote gold mine, but they don't get anything in return. Don't get any infrastructure in return for their taxes going to the city. While that was going on, and perhaps even when that question when he was answering that question, city council down at the city county building during their meeting this week was approving a $19 million road project on Pleasant Ridge Road right through the heart of that district. So maybe that probably won't, should not be a talking point in the future, going forward. Frank Ramey is a businessman, and Doug Lloyd, but both of them are business owners. They talked about Ramey especially talked about really getting across to residents how they can interact with council members, work with them, collaborate with them, and he would be available to them. Lloyd looked at homelessness and substance abuse and mental health issues as being kind of the leading issues there. They also talked about parks and the sales tax proposal that's going to be on the ballot in the general election. For them, it's not going to be on the primary ballot, which is coming up. The primary is August 26th, with early voting beginning August 6th. All of the candidates were opposed to it except Ramey. But Ramey was is kind of for it if it has a sunset clause with it, where the tax would expire, the tax increase would expire and revert back to what it is. The tax increase is 0.5%. It's a very small amount. It's a nickel for every $10 you spend. So but a lot of people, almost all the candidates for city council, regardless of your district, are opposed to that. One of the things, though, that Ramey talked about was how and other proponents of it will talk about is how the way that the money, they've got the spending lined up. If they spend it the way they say they're going to, it'll double the amount of money that goes to affordable housing. And a lot of the money goes to neighborhood projects like sidewalks, street paving, traffic calming, parks, and those kinds of things. The second district candidate who showed up, Nathan Honeycutt, said he's not really, he doesn't really support it or oppose it necessarily, because it's going to be up to the voters to decide. The city council, this group of city council members will not have a vote on the sales tax. That is going to be decided by the voters. So they also had questions about global warming, which is kind of odd. So it's climate change, but they were asked what can the city do, and most talked about improving the efficiency of the CAT buses, manage stormwater better, those kinds of things, reduce sprawl, which is which is more of a county issue than a city issue, because most of the sprawl is happening out in the unincorporated parts of Knox County. Although I will say that Harmon said that he thinks that they need to expand the energy resources, including coal, and said the best thing to do is pray for the country. Cipro is very dismissive and said that climate change is a hoax. So there you go. And there were other questions that came up, of course, in the course of the meeting. We can't go into all of them. The League of Women Voters has the video of that on their Facebook page, if you would like to see that. You can do that. On Wednesday, the League of Women Voters had another forum for the 4th District, which yours truly got to moderate. The 4th District candidates are Matthew DeBartoleben and Jeff Tallman. They got together at St. James Episcopal Church in North Knoxville. One of the they had a theme in theirs that emerged, and one of the things that the people in all these questions come from the audience. They don't come from the moderators. Who, we stand up there at the podium and somebody brings us a card with a question on it, and we from the audience, and the theme that emerged here was growth, and how the city would manage growth. They had and the accompanying housing questions. So interestingly enough, these are two candidates who are I won't say uniquely qualified, but singularly qualified in the amongst the council candidates to address this. DeBartoleben is a commercial real estate broker, and Tallman is a mortgage loan officer. So they both work in the real estate field and know a lot about that. And the housing is, of course, a big issue. They both are supportive of middle housing and giving more housing options to residents, and trying to make neighborhoods more walkable and convenient for residents. It's very telling. Both of them are from the North Knoxville, inside the Beltway. In fact, Tallman's residence, where he is building a middle housing type, a duplex on his property in 4th and Gill, and DeBartoleben lives in Old North Knoxville. So and both of those are older neighborhoods with middle housing in them already. They've got duplexes and triplexes in there. A couple of small apartment buildings as well. So they do have middle housing types there. They're very walkable neighborhoods. They have sidewalks on just about all the streets. So that's kind of natural that those are topics that attract them. One thing that is, DeBartoleben really liked talking about what he calls, or what some people call, and he uses the concept, the 15-minute city, where you can you live near what urban planners call third spaces, which are parks and greenways and coffee shops and places where you gather outside of work or the home, and that you live within 15 minutes of those, and you can, pretty much you're self-contained in your neighborhood, and you don't need a car as much. You don't need, you can get around on foot or by bicycle very easily. That's the kind of thing he's kind of pushing for. He thinks also that the city needs to do more on affordable housing. Tallman is Tallman's one of the more conservative candidates on the in the election as a whole. He is very skeptical about affordable housing. He doesn't understand. Shouldn't say he doesn't understand. He does understand because he's a mortgage broker, but he questions the very concept of affordability in because of the high cost of building any kind of housing now, and where they differ in a big way is on the proposed sales tax increase. Tallman is dead set against it. In fact, and I mentioned this last week, he put in his campaign finance disclosure, since Mayor Kincannon was actually proposed putting this before the voters and city council approved it, but since Kincannon proposed it, Tallman listed her as giving him an in-kind contribution, and her in-kind contribution was that as an issue, and he thinks that opposition to that is a winning issue, and he said that the value of that donation was priceless, so or invaluable, I think is actually the way he put it. Anyway, DeBartoleben says he's going to vote for the property tax increase for a couple of reasons. Again, he goes back to growth, and that this will, because it deals with paving and sidewalks and those kinds of things, it kind of gets out in front of the growth that everyone knows is coming. And he also thinks that the funding in that provision would help those who often get left behind when growth occurs. So once again, we've got the voters in the 4th District, which is North Knoxville, Fountain City, over to the old Easttown Mall area, and over to Holsted Hills. It's a large district. It's a politically active district, and those residents there, and I include myself there. I'm a resident of the 4th District. They will have a clear choice between these two candidates who as far as that issue goes, like I said, they're both very concerned about growth and housing, and so that's going to be a differentiator between the two, is the sales tax issue. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered everything we did in the city election last week. We got more coming up next week, but now we turn our attention to football, which of course, is a holy sport here in East Tennessee. As we reported, West High School was engulfed in a scandal involving sexual abuse of minors. Two of the assistant football coaches at West were arrested and charged with sex crimes involving underage students. There were a couple of other staff members who were disciplined by the school system apparently for their knowledge of what was going on. The head football coach, Lamar Brown, beloved head football coach at West High School, was reassigned. John Riswick, the superintendent, after an investigation, decided to remove him as the coach at West and reassign him to another school. There was another turn of events later on, but he didn't name the school at the time. As I said, Brown was kind of a beloved figure. I mean, West won back-to-back state championships in football in 23 and 24, and the West High School parents have registered their displeasure in disciplinary action that was taken against Coach Brown. In fact, one of the boosters is, well, I don't know if he's a booster necessarily, but he is Coach Brown's attorney, and that is Jeff Haygood, who's a very prominent attorney, was just appointed by President Donald Trump to the Tennessee Valley Authority Board of Directors. And he, like I said, he represents Brown, and he wrote a letter on the same day that the disciplinary action came down. Wrote a letter to Superintendent Riswick, basically saying that that Brown didn't do anything wrong, that apparently it was kind of it was being a scapegoat for what happened, and asked if Riswick would meet with him and a group of prominent boosters, and prominent they are. There was the Catherine Eggleston's family owns H.T. Hackney, and her husband is the basketball coach at West, Tommy Eggleston. Businessmen Todd Scott, Chad Dance, George Ewart, who's also an architect and the co-owner of Dead End Barbecue. Jeff Francis, a former University of Tennessee quarterback, and West supporters Robert and Courtney Peace. And last but not least, former UT football coach Phil Fulmer. So they were bringing out the big guns there, and Haygood made a point in the letter of noting that Ewart has given $500,000, has donated $500,000 to West over the past couple of decades. The Pieces have raised more than $500,000 for the school in the past 18 months. I don't know what you make of that. I think you certainly you could read into it that the kind of a veiled, threat might be a little strong of a word, but certainly the suggestion that those donations could dry up if Brown was not reinstated, which is their goal, which is what they wanted. Riswick, however, said no, he would not meet with them. The school system issued a statement when we asked about it after we were able to review the letter, and the school system statement said they have a process for investigating violations, and meeting with members of the community outside of the parameters of that investigation would be inappropriate and would break their protocol. And so they did not meet with Haygood and those boosters. Meanwhile, after that had gone on, there's a school board meeting earlier this month, and several of them, Haygood, the pieces, were there to, or Haygood didn't speak, but the pieces did, and Jeff Francis did, spoke to the school board asking them to reinstate him and saying that he was done wrong. And again, Haygood and Fulmer were there. I mean, Fulmer was very visible in the audience there. But they said their piece to the school board, and still Brown has not been reinstated. And in fact, just a few days, it's been several days ago now, but it was announced that he had joined the staff at Maryville High School as an assistant. So he has moved on. Baron Chandler, who was the defensive coordinator at West under Brown, has been promoted to head coach now. And so West is going into the season, which they're getting ready to start the workouts for the season and the practice for the season. And they'll be going in with a new coach and a controversy in the rearview mirror, but not very far. So we'll move on now to some higher education controversy. And just this last week, Senator Marsha Blackburn took aim at the University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Belmont universities for basically circumventing the orders dealing with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Presidential orders to basically telling institutions of higher education that those are that their DEI programs were discriminatory, I presume, against Caucasian Americans and and males. And would not be tolerated. Their funding would be at risk. Those kinds of things. UT and I presume Vanderbilt and Belmont had taken steps to comply, but Blackburn said that they haven't really complied with it, that DEI continues. It's just under a different name. They just dropped the name. And
so those prestigious universities have a pretty good thesaurus in their library, is what you're telling me?
They understand language. In fact, one of the things that kind of brought this to the fore as far as Blackburn is concerned was undercover video taken of Vanderbilt and University of Tennessee folks. There was it was been shown on Fox News. We linked to the video. There was a fellow named Will Eakin at UT who up until June was the access and engagement coordinator, and that's the buzz phrase now. Instead of DEI, it's access and engagement coordinator for the College of Education, Health, and Human Services. On the video, he is seen talking about how UT, in his opinion, had used language to kind of fly under the radar of folks. And one of the quotes from the the video was you can't argue with the terms access and engagement, and that the university leadership, and he included Chancellor Donnie Plowman and President Randy Boyd and the whole government relations team with this, using language as a tool for protection. Blackburn was none too pleased, and she sent a letter to each of the leaders of the leaders of each of those institutions. Donnie Plowman in the case of UT. The letters were pretty much identically written except for the specifics regarding that individual school. And one thing is, one of the dangers of cut and paste, the letter to Plowman mentioned Vanderbilt for no good reason, where it was obvious that it should have been a reference to the University of Tennessee. Anyway, she basically said that since UT gets funding from the federal government, that they were, had a responsibility to align with the president's executive order. And Plowman did write back. We got a copy of that letter too. She said that the statements in the video misrepresented the policies and practices of the university. That Boyd had ordered a system-wide review of access and engagement programs at every campus UT, and she said that they have complied with the letter and spirit of the law and would continue to do so. So we'll follow that if there are any more developments. It could be one of those things where it was a tempest that blew up and will die down, but it could have legs. If it does have legs, we'll follow him wherever it goes. Another member of Congress who represents our area, of course, is Representative Tim Burchett. And Burchett had made news a couple of times. For one, he voted to demand that the release of the files of the late Jeffrey Epstein, the sex offender and financier, about his sexual abuse of underage girls. Quickly, the Congress adjourned. Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, shut down the chamber so that they wouldn't vote again on actually getting those records out. But that wasn't Burchett's only foray into the limelight. He also, in an interview with Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council, laid into Sesame Street, and actually not Sesame Street by name, but the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which of course had its funding cut completely. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, among other things, funds PBS and NPR, and both of those services, one for radio, one for TV, are going to see some funding cuts. It's not a huge amount, but some of the, especially more rural radio stations, are going to be really hard hit by this. And one thing, he made some pretty bold and strong statements, and said that the people at NPR and PBS hate the country, hate America's patriotism, and they hate our Lord, and they don't hide it. So they're basically unpatriotic, godless folk at NPR and PBS. He did not mince words, so I would imagine that included in that are the late Mr. Rogers, who's as everybody would suspect as being a godless guy, and Cookie Monster, Elmo, all the
Bob Ross.
Yeah. So anyway, they won't have. Of course, that's basically they won't be available to kick around anymore because Congress will not be funding them anymore, and so they can do pretty much whatever they please now. So. Locally, one of course, we have our local PBS and NPR outlets too are going to be hit by this, but we also have an independent radio station, WDVX, which also gets support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and they said last week that they stand to lose 20% of their funding, 1/5 of all of their funding, and they said in a news release that they're waiting a word on exactly how it will affect them, and but basically it's 20%. The WDVX has a lot of locally produced live programming. The Blue Plate Special, everybody just about everybody around here is familiar with it. Their general manager, Tony Lawson, who, if you're not familiar with the background, started WDVX in a trailer in Clinton, he many years ago, and they're trying to take some steps to mitigate this. They have they're going to put a free edition of their Tennessee Shines concert up next month. They've got the 28th birthday celebration for the station is coming up, and they're going to see what they can do to make up that funding that they already know they're going to lose. They just don't know exactly the impact on their budget. So WDVX, which is a station that a lot of people around here are very fond of, is actually probably going to take a harder hit than WUOT is on when it comes to their funding. Moving along to real estate news downtown, the U.S. Bank building, which is at the corner of Market Street and Clinch Avenue. It's across from the old Customs House. It is up for sale. Believe it or not. I mean, you don't see office towers go up for sale very often, but it is for sale. It's 123,000 square feet, 13 stories.
Compass's new headquarters?
Well, let me tell you what. I don't think that we'll be able to afford it. They don't have an asking price yet.
Okay.
But the current owner, who is Patrick Halloran, he is a company he controls. He's a hedge fund manager out of Minnesota. So there's these hedge fund investors and all bought it from U.S. Bank in 2021 so that was 4 years ago, and the sales price was $4.15 million.
That's not bad. You got that.
So I think I can get that as long as I dig around my the car seat and the couch cushions. I can probably scrounge up enough to make that happen. Of course, the interesting thing there was U.S. Bank sold it for $4.15 million in 2021. They actually they took a loss on it. They took a bath on it. They bought the building in 2012 for almost $11 million. So I essentially lost $7 million on that real estate deal. Anyway, the SVN Wood Properties is the listing company for the property. They said that, of course, this is a rare thing, but they're of course trying to sell it. So they're talking about the gorgeous views you have from those offices, and you would. I've never been in the offices there, but in other buildings I have been that are at least as tall as that one, some taller, and you got a view of the mountains, you got a view of the river, you got views downtown. Really nice. They talked about the possibility of a rooftop bar because there's a section of it is just one story before you get to the tower part there, and and this also comes with a parking lot. So like I said, if you've got a few million hanging around, you could make an offer, and I'm sure that the folks at Wood Properties will be happy to talk to you about that. Okay. Last but not least, things that happened last week. City Council approved a payment in lieu of tax agreement for the Grandiflora Foundation. If you don't know what that is Phil Lawson's charitable organization, one of his charitable organizations. Phil Lawson is a business owner. He is the founder of LHP Capital, which is they've built affordable housing. They manage affordable housing. A very large company. They do it all across the Southeast. And he bought through the foundation, bought a church in East Knoxville on Magnolia Avenue, the former home of Knoxville Baptist Tabernacle. That congregation moved to North Knoxville a couple of years ago in 2021, excuse me, and Lawson's Foundation bought it. He is going to transform it into an event space, an event venue, and he's going to have concerts there. He's going to weddings. He's going to have some public amenities there. There's going to be a park it's going to be open to the public with sculptures in it, and it's going to be he's going to do things like provide free weddings to couples who are struggling to pay for a wedding. He's going to vet them somehow there, but it's also going to have a little jazz bar, a little piano bar called Sweet Audrey's. That's going to be there, which is he's very proud when he was talking to City Council to point out that it's named after his granddaughter. Anyway, he's got all that going on at the former Knoxville Baptist Tabernacle Church building, and he asked for this payment in lieu of tax agreement. Now, what a payment in lieu of tax agreement is, we've talked about them plenty of times before, but as a refresher, it essentially freezes your taxes at the current rate for a specified length of time, and then at the end of that length of time, it goes back to you have to start paying at the current rate. So it's frozen at the redevelopment level. So post redevelopment, you can have a set number of years where you're basically getting a real good deal on your taxes. That is used to help finance projects that would not otherwise qualify for loans and things like that, because there's not enough of a return on investment without getting a tax break. So they are going to be the council approved one for 10 years. So they have a 2-year build out period, and then for 10 years after that, taxes are going to be frozen at about That's about $19,000 a year that the city of Knoxville is going to get at $13,700. The Knox County is going to get. That's all they're going to get, even when the appraisal goes up once they redevelop it. That's going to be the level of payments that they will be making for 10 years. Now, typically, I said that typically after 10 years, after the end of the period, you go back to paying the normal rate. The Grandiflora Foundation has informed the city that they're going to be seeking tax exempt status from the state, so maybe they won't in the future. But the administration and city council voted for this unanimously. The public good, the public benefits from this far outstrip the tax incentive. First of all, the city's getting a small park, essentially, that someone else is going to maintain, but is going to be open to the public. They are doing things for the community, like those free weddings, free concerts that Lawson has talked about putting on, and also, this is redeveloping an empty building that could easily be considered blight in a couple of years. It's in a redevelopment area. East Knoxville is some of the neighborhoods there are among the city's most economically challenged, to put it a nice way, and so all these benefits to the public help outweigh that, at least in the minds of the city government and the city council members. They voted for this unanimously. And the council members who talked about it spoke glowingly about the project. One thing about this too is put in the context of what's going on along Magnolia. You've got the Covenant Health Park, which opened this year, the minor league baseball and soccer stadium, and multi-use, other uses as well, at one end of Magnolia, at the downtown end, actually in the old city, or next to the old city. Then at the other end of Magnolia, you have Burlington, which the city is investing millions of dollars into to help with the infrastructure there. They're putting a new fire hall. They're going to be hopefully, into their mind, is they want to have a portion of the old Chilhowie Park Fair Midway developed. They're working on getting that done. Chilhowie Park is at that end. In between, however, there are all these. There are a lot of empty buildings there. The businesses have struggled along Magnolia Avenue, but this project is joined by several others, so they're kind of getting this momentum going in the corridor there. River and Rail Theater is going to be renovating a historic house on Magnolia, and they will be moving their home there. The Cortland Group is renovating 4 historic apartment buildings. The Knoxville Leadership Foundation is converting Swan Bakery into a home for its jobs training program. Lots of stuff going on out along Magnolia now, and so that is one area that the city has put a lot of emphasis on as far as redevelopment goes. So, and there will be more on redevelopment along Magnolia in the coming weeks, we are promised. Anyway, that's everything that we're going to talk about that happened last week. It's not everything that happened last week. If you want to know everything that happened last week, you need to subscribe to Compass at CompassKnox.com. You'll get access to the website and a daily newsletter with all kinds of good tidbits in there. This week, we are looking ahead to the monthly county commission meeting. The one of the major things that's going to happen there is Orion, which is the company that is doing facilitating the development of the unified zoning ordinance, the zoning overhaul for the county. They're going to give a presentation to commissioners. There may be, it wasn't on the agenda yet, but Commissioner Larson J has said that he's going to be bringing forward a package of funding for the transition at the juvenile service center that the county just changed up management of it, and there's going to be a pretty big price tag along with that. At least that's according to Jay. As of Thursday, there was no resolution on the agenda addressing that, but Jay has said he's going to bring one forward. We'll see if we'll talk about that then. Then Tuesday night we'll have yet another city council candidate forum. It'll be the last of, at least it'll be the last, but of the League of Women Voters affiliated ones. That will be the last one before the primary. First district is South Knoxville and Fort Sanders. There are 4 candidates running in it. They will be they've been invited to be at the South High Senior Living Facility, which is the old South High building next to Dogwood Elementary there in South Knoxville. This is most of the League of Women Voters in previous forums has been the lead organizer. This forum, the South Knoxville Neighborhood and Business Coalition, is the lead organizer. The League of Women Voters is working with them, as is the South Knoxville Alliance and the Old Sevier Merchants Association. Anyway, that forum is at 6:30 on Tuesday evening, and if you live in South Knoxville and you are planning to vote, which you should do if you are 18 and registered, you should register if you're not registered. But you can attend that and find out what your candidates are saying that they want to do when and if they take office. There will be lots of other things that happen next week. That is the nature of news, and we will be there for all of it that matters. At least we hope. That is what we are trying to do. That's what our job is, and we'll be there. So we'll be signing off for now. Thanks to Lord Seth Barber, our producer, and Will Wright, who provided our music for us. We'll be back next week for another installment of Compass Points. Thank you.
CompassKnox.com is your best source for news and politics in Knoxville and Knox County. If you'd like to learn more about the topics discussed on today's podcast, go to CompassKnox.com and subscribe for in-depth coverage and much more. And many thanks to William Wright for composing our theme song. Compass Points is a partnership of Barking Shark Media and Barbarian Productions, and recorded by Lord Seth A. Barber at Barbarian Studios, Knoxville, Tennessee.